Alrighty guys, so I just finished and wrapped up editing this private exclusive group coaching call from inside the RSA Mastermind that I want to share with you guys today. Now, we host 7 live group trainings every single week around a variance of topics, but particularly this training call is focused on roleplay, skills, training, and development. And in this training, you're going to see 2 of some of my most recent case studies, Josh and Sammy, roleplay back to back and practicing objections, right? Getting better objections and showcasing their skills, but also looking for feedback from myself, which you can see live real time exactly how that goes. And you get to see a level of standard of where you could be working inside a community and being a part of a mentorship like the RSA 6, 7, 8 months from now. You know, Sammy and Josh, these guys started 6, 8 months ago in the space industry as complete beginners. They had never sold anything in their life before. And, you know, Sammy's at 15K a month now, and Josh is at 10, growing and scaling. And he's well beyond, moving towards, 10, 20, 30K plus a month towards the end of the year, beginning of next year as well. So Sammy's scaling too as well. But I'm going to post in the recording here. Hopefully you guys enjoy the training. It's been a while since I've shared one of these. And yeah, hopefully this gives you an inside look to what the training actually looks like behind the scenes, behind the paywall, behind actually joining a group and a community and a mastermind like the RSA. And yeah, hopefully you get a ton of value.
Hey, Connor.
What is going on, guys? How are we?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
Good to see you, Simon.
Yeah, sorry, I'll just I don't know what's going on. I couldn't connect.
No worries. Good to have you here. But yeah, welcome guys. Great group today. Excited to have you all here. I think the only guys that are new to this first session for role players would be Sammy and Simon, I believe. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So great to have you guys here. I'll introduce you guys to the group on the second Q&A call that will be later on this week. But just to give you guys a general overview of how these training calls work specifically, it's particularly focused on role play training only. So usually we'll just have 1 or 2 questions to open up the session, like anything that you need to troubleshoot, making more money, core reviews, whatever else it is. And then once we've passed through that, we'll go through and have basically guys who are ready to train and want to train on the day to improve their sales skills in whatever facet. Could be discovery, could be objection handling, could be whatever else it really is that you need. It's up to you. For you guys, for example, you're very new to the training program, so it's totally okay just to kind of sit back and observe today. Just watch other guys role play and see what they do with their process. And I'll ask to see a show of hands on who wants to role play and train today. It's quite a few of you here today. And as these calls start to ramp up and we get a little bit more busier, we'll figure out about putting into different focus groups so we get everyone to have a go as you guys, as again, this group grows bigger because it's quite a large call as opposed to usual. But yeah, that's pretty much how these calls work. Questions, role play, and it's just particularly focused on training alone. Does that make sense to you both?
hmm
Yeah, fantastic. Well, welcome to both of you. I'll introduce you guys on the Q&A calls if you can make it later this week. Sweet guys. Well, let's jump straight into role play. I want to see Josh and Sammy have at it, the B&B success fellas. Just finished Sammy's interview yesterday, so congrats on the big 12.5K month. How's it feel?
Surreal.
Yeah,
Feels very, very surreal. But lots of hard work. Lots of hard work went into it.
100%. And as well, Sammy on the day of recording did 2K in commissions in one day. So super, super cool. And yeah, really looking forward to releasing that. I've got 4 that I'll be filming this week. So Sammy yesterday, Jordan on Sunday, got Reese Thompson for an in-person interview in Dubai on Friday. So definitely look out for that one or for his like really, really high month that he had, which would be really cool. And I've also got one with Preston as well that we're booking next week. So great start to the month. Really, really happy with the results and where they're trending. What would you like to role play today, Sammy and Josh?
Um, Start of discovery up until the pre-handling phase. I'd like to work on that. It's been a while since I've role played in front of a big group, so a
Okay.
bit nervous.
Well,
Yeah.
it's a big turnout today, so
Yeah.
perfect timing. So just opening and discovery in general.
Yeah, pretty much.
Cool. Josh, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Easy. Hey, Josh, can you hear and see me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can see you. It's good to put a face to a
Nice one.
name. How you doing?
Not too bad. Are you closing me or am I closing you?
I'm just being a normal human, bro. I'm just
Oh,
asking how you doing.
no, I'm just making sure. Okay. Yeah, it's nice to officially meet you. How'd you go with the materials I sent over?
Yeah, it went well. Really insightful. I saw
Good to hear.
Stanley, I saw Frank,
Mhm.
20K a month, unreal.
Yeah, 100%, man. And for some context, I'm the business manager here, so I've got a couple of B&Bs of my own in Melbourne. Where are you based?
I'm based in Dubbo.
Okay, cool, man. Well, I did see your application. I want to hear directly from you. Like, what are you hoping to achieve with this personally? Like an outcome?
I mean, ideally, I want to get to 10, 15, maybe even 20 properties. Um, the sky's the limit, especially with this sort of business model.
Yeah. Well, no one gets into business for no reason. Like, what's the rationale behind getting to 10, 20 properties?
Um, just what it allows me to do, just getting the consistent
Mm,
flow of income coming through, just
mm.
the cash flow.
Okay.
That's really going to help me.
Yeah, how is it gonna help you?
Yeah, just like building out a business, getting money in the door.
Yeah, 100%. Well, we're definitely not here to get less money through the door. So, like, what would that actually do for you personally?
What do you mean? Just like getting more money in the door? Like, yeah,
Yeah.
just more dollars in the bank account. Am I right?
I mean, well, at the end of the day, like, people don't come to us to make less money. So, like, at the end of the day, the money's the vehicle, but like, what would you actually like to do with that?
I mean, if I have 10, 15 properties, I guess that would
Mm,
allow me to go on vacation, have a bit more flexibility,
yeah.
maybe also like transition out of the current job that I'm working at.
Okay. Well, if you're looking to do that, like, what do you actually do for work right now?
Right now, I'm a FIFO worker, so fly in, fly out.
Okay. How long you been doing that for?
Last 10 years.
10 years, just getting started, huh? Right.
Yeah.
Well, I guess what's shifted for you recently that's got you wanting to transition out of FIFO rather than just double down what you already have going on?
You can't really double down. It's just 2 weeks in, 2 weeks out.
Mhm.
Nothing's
I
really
mean,
shifted. Like I've always,
you can always
I've
work more
really wanted
hours
to
to get
be.
more money, right? You
Sorry, what did you say?
can always work more hours to earn more money, can't you?
No, so we have a set schedule with
Okay.
FIFO.
Okay. Well, what
I
makes
can't
you
double
feel like
down.
you don't have that freedom then?
It's because I have to be like on the oil rig for 2 weeks. Like I have to be there.
Okay.
So I'll just be, there. So I don't get to see my family. I don't get to spend time with the kids.
Okay.
And I don't get to do like the basic stuff.
What kind of basic stuff?
Yeah, so just like going to the gym, spending time with, like what I said before, like the basics, like
Okay.
family, friends, stuff like
Okay.
that.
Well, realistically, like how much time do you actually get to spend with the family?
None when I'm on the oil rig.
None.
Yeah, none.
Jeez. How long has that been going on for?
Last 10 years. Um,
Wow.
yeah,
Well, how does that actually make you feel, man?
not good. Like, not the greatest.
Right. Well, at the end of the day, like you not being able to spend time with your family for the last 10 years, like what kind of impact has that had on you?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like it's sad because like I feel like I've missed a lot of my kids'
Mm.
childhood. And seeing them grow up, like I miss their first steps and stuff like that.
Man,
And I just don't want to do that anymore.
yeah. What else did you feel like you missed out on?
Um, Mainly that and just like the basic stuff.
Mm. No, you keep saying basic stuff, man. Like what does basic stuff actually mean?
Yeah, just like spending time like doing what I want to do, opposed to
And what
just
do you
being on
want
the
to
oil
do?
rig. Yeah, just like doing like the gym,
Mm.
um, going out with the friends, the family,
Yeah.
stuff like that is what I mean.
Okay. Well, since you've wanted to have, that time back for yourself and, be there for your kids for the last 10 years, like, what have you actually done so then you can have that time freedom back for yourself?
I've done a few ventures
Yeah,
here and
what'd you
there.
try?
I had a fairly successful Amazon business.
Okay, sweet. When
Um,
was that?
it was about 3 years ago. Like we were doing about 100K revenue
Yeah.
per
Well,
month.
it sounds pretty good, man. Like, what happened there?
Just like the manufacturer just shut down. Like
Okay.
yeah, it just fell apart.
Okay. So since that happened 3 years ago, like, what have you done in the last 3 years to be able to give yourself that time freedom back and make more money?
Nothing yet. Like I've been
Why
looking
not, man?
just for something that like fits the glove, right? Like that's actually that I can actually see myself doing, right? Because
Well, can I be direct with you for a second, bro?
yeah, sure.
You sure, man? Because I don't want to hurt your feelings.
Nah, you're not gonna hurt my feelings.
Because like, it doesn't take 3 years to find something that fits the glove, right? So having all these reasons, it's not 100% your fault, but coming from a business owner point of view, like whose problem is it to solve at the end of the day? Finding something that will work for you.
Yeah, yeah, it's my problem.
Right. So knowing it is your problem, taking accountability for it, like what's really slowed you down from internally from actually putting in the work to finding that right vehicle for you?
Um, I don't know. I guess I've just been a bit comfortable with my routine.
Comfortable way, man.
You know, just like knowing that I'm maybe 2 weeks off, 2 weeks on, having this
Mm,
like the steady paycheck come in. The couch is pretty warm when I get home as well, which is what I like.
yeah. Well, I guess Josh, like, how does it actually make you feel knowing that you've wanted to have that time back with your family for like 3 years now since your Amazon came down, but because of that comfortability, you've actually been tolerating this life. How does it make you feel, man?
Doesn't feel great.
Okay.
Doesn't really sit well
Well,
with me
why not?
because like I know I could have done more by now. But I'm kind of stuck in the same position.
And what happens if you keep letting that comfortability get in the way of you actually working towards that goal that you want?
The goal? Oh yes, the goal. Yeah. So I don't know. I guess I'll just be in the same spot for the rest of my time.
Are you willing to settle for that?
No.
Well, you have been for the last 3 years, man. So how do you plan on overcoming that? So then the next 5 years don't look like the loss of you being comfortable, not having the time, the money to be able to see your kids and watch them grow up.
Um, yeah. I just gotta get uncomfortable. I gotta get outside my comfort zone and actually do something about it.
Yeah. Well, we both know you need to, but are you willing to actually step into that father, that leader that can go out there, get uncomfortable, not just sit on his warm couch and actually look for something that will work for you?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm ready to step in the shoes of that person.
Okay. Well, why now though? Because you have been putting it off for 3 years. Why not just push it off like most unsuccessful people do?
Um, because if I push it off anymore, like it's just gonna like I'm never gonna change if I continue to push it off. So I need to draw a line in the sand.
Okay. Well, I guess for yourself, like to be able to step into that higher standard of life, like how much would you actually need to be making so you can step away from the oil rig, be there with your family?
Um, Ideally like 15K a month.
Yeah. So 15K a month. Okay. Well, how would it actually make you feel? Like once you can actually step into that father that you want to be, the entrepreneur who gets out there and be really uncomfortable. Like how would that actually make you feel, man?
Yeah, it'd feel great.
Yeah. Well,
It'd
I was
feel
asked
yeah,
this, right? Like
I'd feel
how
complete.
do you actually want to be remembered by the people that rely on you?
How do I want to be remembered? Just,
Yeah.
100% present, always being there for the kids, being able to provide. That's what I want to be remembered as.
And I guess for you, Josh, like how long has it been since you've truly felt like that provider, that father that you want to be?
Um, I don't feel like I actually have ever been really that
Really?
provider and
What
really
makes you
like
say that?
100% present
What makes you say that, man?
because I just haven't been there for the 2 weeks of the month, every single month.
Jeez. Okay. Well, what would it mean for you to be able to step into that finally after all these years of working at the oil rig, to be able to become that father that you want to be again?
Yeah, it'd mean the world.
Yeah. Well, be honest with me, man, because like with your current way of making decisions now, like your old habits, behaviors, your current perspective of being comfortable, if you continue letting that sabotage you, like it has been for the last 10 years, has led you to feel this way, knowing that you're capable of so much more, right? If you keep being comfortable, how close are you actually to becoming that father that you want to be?
Not very close at all. Just, yeah, probably never become that version of me.
So, what decisions do you feel like you need to start making so you can step into that?
Yeah, I need to draw a line in the sand, do something.
Okay. I'm gonna stop it there because I'm just like overcooking him for no reason at the
I,
moment.
I
Like
would have just,
usually I would just transition into pitch like once it feels right, but I'm just like re-looping for the sake of
Would
it.
you?
I would have just like straight into cost of inaction. Just
Yeah.
like what happens if you don't step into that version. Because like it was such a smooth segue, but you asked
Yeah.
another question.
100%. Yeah, you're right there. All you need to do is just, I would have ideally asked a little bit more about like what he was looking for in a solution. I got a ton of feedback for you here as well, mostly
Mm-hmm.
positive. But that's the only question you really missed from that. Otherwise, there's a lot of other feedback I'll give you. But before I do, um, Josh, what do you think you did well? What do you think you improve?
I think you were good with like the identity labeling. I think when you do the cost of inaction, when you're doing like the objection finding, and they say I'd just be in the same position, like you should have probably said that, and like why is that a problem? So you can sort of dig the trench a bit deeper. You said you tied it off with like a goal at the end instead of actually
Mm.
saying like what their actual goal was
Yeah.
at one stage, but that's like a small thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would have just said like why step in the shoes now, which you kind of said, but it's just like a smoother, like you're using the words to transition into the next sentence.
Yeah.
Um, I don't actually, yeah, that's actually your process. You missed the ideal criteria and do it yourself.
Yeah.
And me personally, I get the income goal after the problem phase, but you do it into future base. So yeah, that's all I have.
Yeah. Appreciate
Cool.
it.
All right. Well, besides other little mini critiques I'm going to give Sammy, because I'm being super granular here and I'm kind of looking to just kind of pick things. For those of you that are new or you're a little bit along your journey, that is why Sammy made 12.5K last month. That was a very, very good standard level of selling, being only what, like 8 months into this, Sammy?
Yep.
Yeah. Fantastic. Really, really good. There's a lot of positives and a lot of great things I'm going to pull out here, general feedback. But if you guys are looking for the standard, like that is the standard of where you should want to be, 5, 6, 7, 8 months into this, right? We'll unpack as to why I think that was, a really good demonstration of just overall sales understanding and competence. But there's so much that you can learn from that, especially if you're newer or you're a little bit longer along your journey. That's why I went and let Sammy go for a little bit longer. And we'll go a little bit over time as well with Josh's role play, but I just wanted to give him that time there just to give you guys a demonstration of what it could look like if you're newer to this or you're a little bit, beginning your journey. That's the level of standard that you want to be, right? During that time, right? It's a very, very good example. So, unpacking the feedback would be great probing and clarification on the goal in the beginning. So 10 to 20 properties, like why that specifically, right? That's a specific number, and you went delving deeper into that, which is good. How's that going to help you? Which was good. Personally, this is just a different opinion on, looking at like just a different way of selling in general. But I understand like you've got a good mix between like James's style, probably MOR, and a bit of, good like mix of the three there. Um, Personally, when I first open up the call, I'm going to be avoiding questions around emotional tangibles and outcomes. What will that do for you personally? The same, contrast I give to that example would be the fact that for those guys that aren't aware, like if I go up to some random guy at a party, or I met either of you guys as a complete stranger and I start asking about your goals and what will that do for you personally, within the first 60 seconds of meeting you, you're probably not going to give me a very good answer. Granted given, right? Which is pretty normal because, again, why would you? Because I just met you, right? Why would I start telling you all my deep, dark secrets 60 seconds into meeting you? So from like emotional tangibles and like really deeper level goals, usually I like to, again, personal preference, move that for like future pacing, desired state, things like that, where they want to be. Because I've had a bit of a chance to understand their problems and where they're currently at. So I can actually make, I can dig deeper and I have a bit of a relationship with the person instead of just being some stranger that met them 60 seconds ago. Usually they won't give you great answers, just from my own personal experience. Just getting started then. That was good. A little bit of humor as always. Good question. What's shifted recently? Obviously there's the traditional question of like, do you like what you do? And then you're going to get like a do you like it? Do you not like it? But that's a really good question because you got to the root cause, the objective and the issue and the problem, which was I'm capped out on the hours that I work. I can't make more money and I don't spend enough time at home. That's pretty much the two main problems we're dealing with. What kind of basic stuff? What I've noticed is a really big strength of yours in that role play is probing and clarifying. So what kind of basic stuff was very good. You're on top of that. A variation of probing and clarifying, which I'm sure you already know, but just to remind you, X word means different things to different people. What does it exactly mean to you? So it gives them enough context as to why you're clarifying and probing. And they usually just give you a pretty good answer set standard from there. Just basic stuff. I mean, basic stuff means different things to different people, man. Like, what does that mean to you? So it gives them more context. Whereas I think, like, what kind of basic stuff? Josh kind of met you with an answer of just like, yeah, just basic stuff, man. Like, and he was being like a harder prospect, but I would find a lot of times prospects will give you those types of answers, granted given. So what's worked best for me is like basic stuff means different things to different people, man. Like, what does that mean to you? Or more money, like more money means different things to different people, brother. Like, what does that mean to you? Just a variation on that. Again, nitpicking here. How does that make you feel? When he said he was spending a lot of time away from home, I think it was fine. It worked well in this instance. But again, this is just my own personal preferential opinion. And a lot of, sales training is just an opinion. Personally, I like to avoid less emotional questions like, how does that make you feel? Very early on in the conversation, more towards future pacing. In that case, it worked fine because the problem was relatively deep and it was emotional, and Josh gave you the answer that you wanted. Just personally, for anyone else's reference here, how does it make you feel to do that, or what will that do for you personally? That for me is more things I prefer to explore in future pacing rather than the earlier piece in the call. Just a personal preference. It usually works best for me because again, I feel like they're still somewhat relatively closed off with you. They've only known you for like 3, 4, 5 minutes. Usually I find like we don't get as deep answers as we want, but if that works for you, then keep doing it. Overall, great probing and clarifying questions. Really, really good there. Really good in contextualizing the questions and as well as steamrolling, right? So if any of you guys noticed, Sammy was really on top of the conversation, right? He wasn't letting him speak when things were not productive and they were just interesting information. Sammy was right on it. The moment he heard something that was interesting to him or that he wanted to go deeper on, he just slammed straight onto the word. He probed, he clarified, and then he moved on, right? This is a demonstration of knowing exactly what you want out of a sales conversation and not focusing on fluff. He knew exactly what he wanted to hear. He knew exactly what he wanted to probe and clarify, what was interesting and what he wanted to actually delve deeper on. And so he had a lot of control over that conversation. If you want to do well in high ticket sales in general, or any, industry to do with sales, you need to be able to control a conversation like that. You need to do it in a way that is with authority and frame, not where you are pushing someone, not where you are being a dick and interrupting someone, but you need to learn when and why you tactfully interrupt someone, and more importantly, how. There's videos on this in the RSA training portal. If you're unsure what I'm talking about, it's called Tactical Interruptions. And I would say another big strength of yours in that role play, but in general, based off the process you've learned, is really great job unpacking the limiting beliefs and kind of stomping and standing on them and really kind of twisting that around. I think you did a really good job there as well.
Appreciate it.
So yeah,
Oh, yeah.
great role play. Well done.
Thank you. Good feedback. Thank you.
No worries. Sweet guys. Let's pivot, shift, and move on. Swap it around to Josh. Bounce it back to Sammy. Do you want to do the simmer and same thing, or practice certain area?
Objection handling today.
Okay. All right. And just so people have the context as well, Sammy and Josh sell the same offer. It's Airbnb arbitrage, cost people 10K. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, cool. Where do you want to go from here, Sam?
Yeah, if you could just send that all into email so I can show it to my wife, that'd be great.
Yeah, that's not a problem at all. Like, what are you specifically looking for in the email? Just to see if I can help out.
Yeah, just everything we talked about. That'd be really sweet.
Okay. Before I do like draft that up and send that over, like let's put the funding aside for a second, like the investment, like what we've gone through, what we give you, how we help specifically. In your own opinion, do you actually believe we can get you to XYZ goal? Because like that's the most important part, right?
Yeah, I think it can.
Why though?
Because you guys obviously seem like you know what you're doing. And I like that you have all the systems in place.
Okay. And overall, like what I went through in terms of the investment, is it a case like you have the investment and that's fine? Or is it a case like there's a little bit uncertainty around the investment itself? Like which one
Um,
is it?
no, I have the investment. It's just, I just need some time to, go over the details.
Okay. And like going over the details, like overall, like what are you hoping to achieve and like what are you looking to get out of that?
It's a lot of money, man. Like it's not cheap.
It isn't cheap, yeah. And the reason being we value your results, hence why we have the guarantee.
Yeah, just chuck it in an email. Just give me 24 hours. I'll get back to you.
Yeah, that's not an issue at all. Like, I guess before I do whip up the email, like what's actually coming up for you that makes you want to sort of put time and distance between you actually getting started?
Um, yeah, it's a big decision, man. It's just a big decision.
Yeah, for sure. Have you like have you ever been skydiving before? Or have you seen it? Like you know what skydiving is, right?
Yeah, I know what that is.
Like when you're about to jump off the airplane, you're thousands of feet in the air. The decision to actually jump off and take that leap of faith, does it get easier like the longer you wait, or does it get harder the longer you wait?
Um, Probably gets harder.
Probably.
No, it gets harder.
What makes you think it gets harder?
Um, it's because like the longer you put it off, the harder it gets.
Right. So this decision-making process ultimately that you've had over the last 5 years that's caused you to be in XYZ position. And right now, the old habits, the old behaviors, the perspective that we spoke about before that's causing you to put time and distance between you and your goals. How much longer do you want to let that decision-making process dictate your life moving forward?
Not any longer.
Why not?
So I've been putting off for way too long, man.
Okay. So, like, be real with me. Like, if I can help, I can help. If I can't, I can't. What's actually behind this?
Just I've never made a big investment like this before.
Yeah. And that makes sense. Like I've been on your side of the table too. Like you're supposed to feel this way, and it's totally normal. Can I speak to you from like a coach's point of view for a second?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because like 99% of people, they want to be their own boss. They want to have XYZ goals, but 99% of people are never able to think like CEOs, take risks like CEOs, get out of their comfort zones like CEOs. So like ultimately, who do you want to be? Do you want to be a part of the 99% of people that say they want things but are never able to push through? Or do you want to be a part of the 1% who does what it takes to get there? Like who do you want to be?
Yeah, like obviously I want to be the CEO, man. But
Okay. And like I'm
I'm
genuinely
not.
curious too, Sam. Like walk me through it. Like walk me through a time where you were genuinely nervous about something, but you pushed through and something really great happened. Like walk me through a time. I'm curious.
Oh, I don't know, man.
Or
Can't
if you
think
were to
of
think about it,
It's like when I rode my bike for the first time, I guess.
what were you nervous about?
Just getting on a bike. I did it.
Exactly. There we go. So you know from personal experience that good things happen when you push through, when you push through the nerves, the fear of the unknown. So what do you feel like you need to do in this situation?
Push through the nerves.
Why?
Um, this is well, according to you, good things will happen. But like, can I not just have like
Because like
24
what
hours?
happens if you don't? Like what happens if you continue down the path that you have been going down for the last, 5 years?
I just stay stuck in the same spot.
And why is that a problem?
Fuck. My kids will never be able to see me.
Right? Because you've already missed 5 years of watching your kids grow up. How many more years do you want to miss?
None, man. I don't want to miss any.
So what do you feel like you need to do to put yourself and your family in the best position possible moving forward?
Yeah, just make a change.
Why?
Because like and I can't keep living like this.
Okay. Well, let's do something. Let's do something about it, okay?
Let's do it, man.
Shit, I kind of fucked up the end.
Nah, honestly, you were so close to being so perfect there, bro. So you did a really good job. Up until that point, you wrapped him up like a present, for sure. You did very, very well, bro. Great job.
Yeah.
But if we were to gonna change the last part of that there again, what would you do differently?
Um, would have probably just said, let's do it then.
Yeah, just more confidence. Like that's all the prospect needs at that stage. Like, do you want to do it together then, bro? Like just like super simple. Do you want to do it together? The team? Right? Just invite them into a collaboration, you know? Just be positive, be uplifting, be confident about it. They're at the edge. They just need a little like a just you've got all the way there. You just need to deliver a little bit of funnel confidence and just be like, sweet man, do you want to do it together as a team? Like just be smiley, be happy, be confident. Like they want to be led, they want to be told what to do. And if you've gotten to Sammy to where he was, where literally there was nothing he could have done, you fully, abolished his objection completely of fear and concern, which was fear money, fear of spending the money before. Um, he just needs that extra little bit of push. That's it. So up until then, it was almost perfect. I've got some feedback for you, but Sammy, do you have, what do you think you did well, and what are some things you can improve?
That was pretty solid. Went through the process really neatly. Good tonality, slow, calming. Like I didn't feel pressured at all. It's just very good. Steamrolled me whenever I tried to ramble. Um, Plain analogy was good. The end of the doing something uncomfortable and seeing good results at the end of that one, that was a bit telling rather than getting me to understand that. It was kind of more slapped into it rather than me coming to that realization internally. Because towards the end of it, I felt like I was just giving you the answers that you were telling me back. Yeah. Aside from that, yeah, great. Just a bit more confidence in the end. Sometimes I like to go with the So we can go with either transfer or call. Like, which one worked better for you? And then just like close them into a binary.
Yeah. I think assumption close can work well. I think sometimes it's 50-50 from what I found. It can either really backfire on you or it can be like great. And I think what works best for me as well. I think that's a great way of going about it, but just like an extra suggestion on top of that for all of you as well. That's pretty much as close as you can get to is like, do you want the red one or the blue one? So car sales, for example, do you want the red car or the blue car? Right? It's very old, traditional type sales. When you go for assumptive close, referencing back to my suggestions and feedback earlier, what I said before, make an invitation to a collaboration as a team together. Usually that works. What works best for me is like, sweet man, do you want to take that step together? Right? Do you want to do this together as a team? Right? Are you ready? Or something like that. Just like be more assertive and assumptive, but not to the point where it's like Visa or debit, you know? Like it works on some offers and others not so much. It depends on who you're selling. So yeah, just a different perspective on that as well. My general feedback, good diffusing, not a problem. Good process there, good isolation, and the languaging and the verbiage, word economy that you use for the tie down towards the solution, perfect. I think I've given you feedback on that before, and you did really well on that. You're very specific towards, do you feel like based off what we went through today, do you feel like it can get you to X, Y, and Z, and you're confident, blah, 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 blah. That was good. Specific around the income too. Good cycling through and tying off money logistics. That was perfectly done. Temp checking, is it this or is it that? Which was great. He added it and he said the words, it's a lot of money. It's not cheap, right? To a lot of guys, not Josh or Sammy, but anyone else newer here or who's been around for a while, when a prospect says it's a lot of money, it's not cheap, what does that typically mean?
They're worried financially and investing in it straight away.
Yes. Yeah. So they're scared of spending the money. It's not a value objection. It's a lot of money. It's not cheap. It's not like I don't see value in this. It's a lot of money. It's not cheap. Those words specifically mean I am scared of investing or I've never done this before. So a fear of spending the money, right? That's what we're kind of hearing there. And what will get you guys really good objections, exactly what Josh did there, was he established in his mind and classified the objection of money fear, right? Spending the money, right? What will get you guys really good at objections is when you interpret and understand what the prospect is actually saying and the objection that they actually mean. If you're just, throwing a slapstick fear objection on someone when they say they want to think about it, you're going to be met with a lot of resistance because you're met with a communication barrier and you have a miscommunication. If they want to, let's say if you just go for, they tell you they want to think about it, and really the underlying reason that they don't want to make the jump is because they've been burned before, and you don't uncover that in discovery or in your objection handling process, and you're trying to tell them that they need to, walk from a desert island and discover uncharted territories. Like it's a communication mismatch. So what Josh did really well there is interpreted what the objection was and use an analogy and a reframe that was specifically intended for that concern, which was, for example, jumping out of a plane, right? And I think he did really well incorporating him into that decision when it comes to wrapping up the fear as well. Again, what are the words "it's a big decision" mean? He said that afterwards. So he said, it's a lot of money, it's not cheap. And then later on, he said, it's a big decision. It's a big decision. Those words mean fear. And in what capacity? We know what the capacity was of fear of spending the money, right? There's many different fears of the reason why someone won't do something, whether or not they don't think they're going to follow through, whether it's this or it's that. But, it's a big decision. We already know what it was previously because he said it's a lot of money, it's not cheap. So if we listen correctly, we can interpret things the right way. Again, good analogy that you appropriately use there, which is good. I like your languaging entering into a new reframe and trying to uncover the concern as well, Josh, just to see if I can help. What's behind that? Perfect. Right. And just so you guys understand the psychology behind that, just to see if I can help. That is the way that you want to enter into your objection handling and the whole frame and mindset you want to have. If you sound like you have commission breath, if you sound like you're desperate for the sale, if you do not communicate that you are there to help, you can have a set of assumptions made about you. And it's really, really good to set the frame and understanding that just to see if I can help because I guess I'm concerned, right? You are there to help. The person's more open to hearing you out. The person's more open to your feedback, your reframes, everything because of the state and frame that you have positioned your objection handling. Is that making sense to everyone? Everyone's picking up that? Same thing as a coach, right? You're open to a coach helping you because they want to help you, right? That's especially at that point of the call, you have a level of status and frame that makes you qualified to do that. Hence why they will be more suggested to it. It's different to oppose of a friend who's just like, "Can I help you?" Like a lot of times you won't be that open just right away unless they're an expert. They should trust you at that point where they're going to fall a lot more into your frame, especially if you're entering an objection handling in that way with that word, with that language. Good coaches frame as well. You know, can I be a coach and step up for a second, which is great. And what Josh did through his objection handling was a great example. A man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still from Dale Carnegie. You guys probably heard that before. Really, really important to note there. Josh did a really good job at asking good questions to get the prospect, aka Sammy, to realize the problem internally and get them to change their way of thinking, their perspective, and the way they make decisions from an internal aspect instead of externally. Instead of telling him how he needs to think and telling him he needs to jump, he got him to lead himself to the edge and right that last point where Josh needed just a little bit more certainty and conviction to like, let's do it together. He basically got the prospect to walk himself to the edge. He didn't push him there. It's making sense to everyone, right? And again, just great probing and clarifying as well, Josh. You know, why is that a problem? I think that was good. Like, why is that a problem? That was very, very good. I like that. Very creative. I haven't heard that before. But what else is there? Oh yeah, and just before I go to Ezekiel's notes here, a question. That is an example as to why Josh, in 6 months, went from 0 to 10K plus a month, and now is having interviews with companies where they're upwards of like 20, 30K plus, right? And that's how you deal with big opportunities. You get a good skill level, but you also get really good at offer acquisition. But it's a really good demonstration from both Sammy and Josh today of where the standard is and where I want all of you to be as well. Making sense?
Yeah.
Great. All right. Ezekiel, questions, notes?
Yeah, I was just going to ask a question. You kind of clarified it a little bit, mainly because of at the beginning, Samuel objection, it sounded like a partner objection because he said, can you wrap that up in an email so I think he said he wanted to look through it with his wife. And I noticed that Josh didn't hop onto that and start handling that straight away. He actually worked on clarifying the objection before. I just wanted to ask, was that intentional? Because of
Yes.
in my head, I was thinking if this was, I've had experiences on the phone dealing with partner objections. That's like sometimes that could be an objection that you can't really handle. It's kind of stuck in the mud, especially if the person's I think just the appropriate word is very reliant on their wife. That can be an objection where you kind of gonna have to wait. So I was just curious, was that intentional in terms of clarifying and ignoring that initially?
Josh?
Yeah, because the partner was just a smokescreen. You can definitely handle like going in with the mindset thinking like every partner objection. Well, not every partner, but like thinking that partner objections can't be handled. That's not going to get you better. It's just going to let more partner objections go through, and therefore you
wanna
lose more
add on that.
sales.
Yeah, I want to add on that too. Throughout the call, you can kind of tell if it's like they've got an actual partner who's like fully involved with the business or like getting into whatever or the finances. You can kind of understand. Also, like if it's like, for example, an ethnic wife, they're more likely to be reliant on their partner. Whereas if it's just like a male, like the man of the household, they're less likely going to have a real partner objection. You can throw a responsibility frame on them, right? like put back the responsibility on them. That's how you can overcome a lot of those. But majority of the time, just like a knee-jerk reaction to being fearful is like, oh, I just want to talk to my partner, I want to push it off. So sometimes you can blow past that, but if it keeps coming back up, it's like, okay, cool, I need to actually handle this. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Cool.
Yeah, great insights. And yeah, I agree with what Josh said there. That's a really good takeaway. If you believe that a partner objection is real, then it will become real and it'll be more difficult for you to challenge. Now, of course, we also understand again there is a logistical partnership situation where they have tied bank accounts together. We can't ignore that, and that is a concern that we have to overcome. But if anyone says they need to talk to a partner about it, I'm immediately assuming that it is not as justified as you usually jump to conclusions as you think it is. It's not true, right? Partner objection is almost always a smokescreen, and when it's not, it's logistical. So when it is logistical, we handle it appropriately based off going through the cycles, going for an open wallet test, making sure that they're supportive of it, going through again, asking like what would happen if you do go to them and they don't, they're not supportive of it and they can't, they don't want you to X, Y, and Z. There's a ton of that in the RSA training on the specifics. I won't go to the details here. But yeah, really, really good insight from Josh there. Oh yeah.
If you do have a partner objection and they do have joint accounts, how would you go about doing that?
Yeah. So to keep it very simple and high level, basic, long story short, once you've tied off money logistics and you've established money isn't a problem, so you've committed to a payment in full, a payment plan, some sort of agreement that they can enter into the program and they can logistically do it. Once we've tied off the money box, then we go over to partner. And then it's basically a step by step paint the middle box. So first question is pretty much, how do you think Susie would feel about you wanting to get X, Y, and Z emotional driver and be more of a husband, leader, and father that you've always wanted to be, right? The reason why we do that specifically is we're putting them in a position where they practically cannot say no. We're doing a binary if this then that scenario. So there's no man on earth would say, no, my wife doesn't want me to spend more time at home with the kids, have more money for the family, be more of a supporter, be more of a provider, and be more present at home. No, no, like they can't say no to that, right? Unless that's, it's a crazy situation. I've never had someone say no to that.
Yeah.
And then immediately we follow them up with, what would happen if you do go to them and they don't want you to X the Y and the Z, emotional driver, goal, and things again that they would say, obviously she would say yes to, because we're boxing them and painting them into a corner. Once we've done that, usually we're going to find that they will say, well, I guess we'll just have to speak to her, which is a whole nother kettle of fish in itself, right? But if you usually just hold them down into the specifics and really kind of just push them to get an answer out of them, they'll usually say one of two things. They'll say, well, it's going to be, actually, sorry. The next step after that is this more of a permission thing? Or is this more of like a, hey, honey, I'm just letting you, I'm doing this type of thing? If it's a permission, different story. If it's a, hey, honey, I'm just letting you know I'm doing this type of thing, then you can continue following through and kind of go through the smoke screening objection. If they say that they need to actually talk to their partner about it, usually when you drill down even further, it's going to be some types of logistical. They've got joint finances, they've got joint bank accounts, whatever. So, but if you go to the route where they say, they don't need permission, I'm just kind of brushing it past them, then you can go down responsibility reframes route. Sammy, Josh, I'm sure have probably done that on a role play before. And it's all to do with responsibility at that point. And then usually you can start blasting through to what the real actual concern is after that. Because you've gone down very much a binary yes or no. Same thing as like the problem phase, right? And problem probe, roadblock, things like that. We're looking to get a problem and asking questions like, do you like what you do? And when they tell us they don't like it, we're going to get the problems. Same story with here in objection handling, particularly for partner objection as well. It's a if this, then that scenario. And I would say just to have some extra input as well from the guys that you've seen train today. Sammy, if I could get your input. So typically, is there anything else that you would add towards the partner objection just to give the guys some insight?
That's pretty good, to be honest. Like, not really. Sometimes if it is purely logistic, I just go for a deposit as well. Like if you really can't get anything, like tie them down with a deposit. Or you could push it's like, all right, so we can start giving you XYZ, and then you can show them the inside of it without having to like, show them a piece of paper with some scribbles on it. And I just slightly push for a bit of a close. Like you can be cheeky with it. But no, everything you said made sense. It's pretty much correct.
Cool. Was something else to add, Josh, or a question?
Yeah, the way I do it is like once you tie everything off, it's joint. You'd go into like more like what would you do if you couldn't fail? And then they'll tell you they would do it. And then it becomes fear. I mean, it's still there, the partner objection, but it becomes more fear and them delegating the responsibility. Because they would do it if they knew they couldn't fail. So why aren't they doing it pretty much?
Yeah, and it very much closely ties to the thing that I said earlier, which is the binaries, right? The best way you guys want to think about sales in general, especially if what you're selling makes a genuine impact and can really help someone change and go through an amazing transformation, whether it's fitness, helping them make more money, improve their, relationships, whatever else it is. If you really genuinely believe in your heart that what you do is the best in the industry, you need to get really, really, really good at sales. And the core sales for me is like positive gaslighting is the best way you can view it, right? It's a controlled vacuum. It's a controlled environment where we lead someone and guide someone to their best decision for what they actually want to do and ultimately make a change. And a lot of times, you as a salesperson, in my opinion, it's kind of going into a bit of ranty territory here, but I'll just finish up here in a second. You can have the power that usually could take therapists years to be able to perform, in terms of change and making a step in the right direction, right? So use it wisely and understand that when you get really good at it, that's what it is ultimately. You are guiding them to a specifically engineered outcome, which is change and buying what you have and making a decision, right? That's what you're trying to do. So that is the key fundamental principles throughout your sales process: discovery, above board, objection handling. This is the fundamental backbone of what we do. It is a very mechanical, structured conversation that is engineered to get someone to change. And when you understand that, it's not just words on a script, it's not just random questions, it is hyper specific to make sure we can get as many of those results as possible. Right? That's how businesses are made. That's how businesses grow very fast, especially in the info space. Making sense to everyone? We're following?
Yeah. Just want to
Massive
add on to
session.
that as well.
Yeah, go
Sorry.
for it.
Because like, yes, you are getting them to change, but at the end of the day, they booked in a call with you. They wouldn't have went through all the ads, put in all the details in the VSL if they didn't want to make a change. You're just helping them lead them to that because they have a lot of fear or things getting in the way of them actually making the best decision. So conviction wise, like they're here to be changed.
100%. Amazing. Guys, fantastic session. I know there was a lot of you here. As we stack up more and more, and as more people join these role plays, and you guys want to have more goes, we'll have systems and ways where we can make sure that everyone gets a go. If that's more of like a preferred method for you guys, if you guys enjoy having guys like Sammy and Josh, being able to learn from group setting, if that's preferable, we might run some polls and surveys recently or upcoming to make sure that you guys are getting as best value from these sessions as possible. But yeah, fantastic session. I would love to. I'm going to make a post in school as well because I don't have time to go through the takeaways. But I'm going to make a post with the Fathom recording in school because I think it was a great session and I think you guys learned a lot. Would love to see everyone who attended this call's main key takeaways, lessons, and learnings, just so we can kind of cement what we went through today because it was a very big session. And do we think everyone here can do that sometime today, tomorrow? Sweet. Was it valuable?
Very helpful, man.
Great. Fantastic.
Really good first session to learn the closing techniques and what you actually say. And I learned a lot there in that hour. A lot.
Awesome. No, I love it. I'm sure it's quite the contrast from like what you've solved for like the past 25 years doing.
It's just constantly being on it and hitting them with another question and probing and twisting but being very straight with the way you approach them.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. No, I love having you here, man. It's gonna be cool to see more traditional sales guys popping in here. But yeah, guys, great session. If you need me, you know where to find me. And yeah, I'm looking forward to your notes and takeaways on school.
Right.
Cheers, man.
Thanks,
Thanks,
guys.
everyone.
Bye.